What's up, guys? It's Storm, back with another video. Welcome back to the new world. And today we're going to talk about how to conduct human experiments. Now I know what you're thinking, and no, we're not conducting human experiments on others yet, at least, but we are going to learn how to conduct experiments on ourselves. Now, why do you want to experiment on yourself? Well, plain and simple, how the hell are you gonna know what works and what doesn't if you don't experiment on yourself? So from what you've already learned, hopefully learned from your elementary science courses, is that an experiment contains multiple controls and only one variable. So what does this mean for you? In order to experiment on yourself, in order to figure out what works for you, you have to have controls in place. So let's make an example, right? We'll talk about fitness and the gym and making progress, right? Now, say you want to experiment with what happens when you get 8 hours of sleep per night in a week versus when you get 5 hours of sleep per night in a week, right? Now, if you want to conduct that experiment, what would have to be your controls, right? Your variable is the sleep, right? 8 hours, 5 hours, that's your variable over a span of 2 weeks. But your controls, what are your controls? Your gym routine has to be a control. So you have to be doing the same exercises each time in the gym, right? You have to control for that, right? Your diet has to be controlled. Like what you're eating, what you're putting into your body, how much of it you're putting into your body, that has to be controlled as well. What else has to be controlled? The amount of water you drink on a daily basis has to be controlled, right? You have to try to get the same amount of water, right? The amount of activity, non-gym activity you're putting in on a daily basis has to be a control, right? What happens if one of these controls is not controlled? Well, simple. You're not going to know why you're getting a result that you're getting. So if you're able to control all of these things, then you can see the results of the switch in sleep from 5 hours to 8 hours. Now I can already tell you 5 hours versus 8 hours of sleep. If you're on 5 hours of sleep, you're not pushing up much in the gym. You're not going to be improving on a regular basis. You're not going to be able to increase strength, and you probably will be a little bit more sore, right? But let's take diet as the variable, right? Now, let's take diet as the variable, and let's say you're gonna conduct an experiment to see the effects of tracking your diet, right? What effects does that have on your progress in the gym, right? So you're gonna have to have your sleep as a constant, your gym routine as a constant, right? How you're progressing through your gym routine, how you're increasing the weight, how you're making it more difficult, that has to be a constant as well, right? And then what are you going to track? What are you going to track as a result? You're going to track your progress, right? How much increase are you able to make? And you're going to track your weight. How much does the scale vary, right? From your dietary changes. So 1 week, eat whatever you want. Who cares? Eat whatever you fucking want. The next week, eat a set number per day for the week, right? The next week, eat a different set number per day for the week. Final week, eat what you want again, right? Track the results. What does my weight do on the scale? What does my strength do in the gym? You could even track what your energy is like, how you feel when you wake up in the morning, if you're really getting the same amount of sleep per night, right? So that's a simple video on how to conduct human experiments, how to conduct an experiment on yourself, right? Controls, you want to have everything. In order to conduct an experiment, you have to have controls, and you have to have one variable, and then you have to have a metric that you're tracking. Three simple things. Track your controls, make sure your controls are in check and controlled, make sure you have a variable, control group and a variable group. Control group being whatever you want to eat, variable group being this set macros versus this set macros versus the control group. And then you track the results, right? Track the results with whatever metrics you want, right? But track them, and track them the same throughout each of the segments of the experiment, right? Now, I know what you're thinking. This might not be that practical in practice, right? And you might not have enough time to set up a whole experiment to conduct on yourself over the span of a month, right? But what you can do is take this theory, take the idea behind conducting experiments and apply it to your general life, right? So for example, for me, right, a time where I was experimenting a lot was when I first started going to the gym, right? When I first started going to the gym, I started by using plant-based proteins, plant-based meals, not because I didn't want to eat meat, but just because I was too lazy to eat meat, and I just so happened to have plant-based proteins, right? I did that for 2-3 months straight. Then, after a while of, say, for example, removing red meat from my diet, after a while of not having red meat in my diet, what did I do? I reintroduced it. While keeping everything else the same, I reintroduced red meat in the form of a well-done burger from Fridays, and then mentally recorded the reaction, how I felt, right? I can tell you I did not shit that day. It was very tough. TMI. NSWF. Or NSFW? Yeah, NSFW. Right? So, in a more practical sense, the more things you keep controlled in your life, the easier it will be to just conduct random experiments here, there, right? When everything is varied, when you're doing different things every week with your diet, with your training, you're going to the gym 4 days this week, you're going to the gym 5 days this week, you're doing abs this week, you're doing biceps, curls, and back this week. When you have too many things changing on a regular basis, there's no way for you to know what is actually helping you and what's actually hurting you. Plain and simple, right? So, there it is. That's how to conduct human experiments. I hope you took something from the video. I hope it kind of changed your idea on, growth and how it happens, and how to figure out what works for you and what doesn't, right? You gotta keep everything similar. Here's an experiment you can conduct right now, right? Ready? Stop eating fast food. If you eat fast food, stop eating fast food. Just stop eating fast food. Eat everything else. Whatever else you eat, just eat. Don't eat fast food for 2 months, right? Then, after 2 months of not eating fast food at all, record what happens throughout the 2 months, and then go eat fast food for a week straight. And then record how you feel. Record the difference, right? Easy experiment to conduct right now. You can do it with processed food. Get rid of all processed food for 2 months. Only eat food with whole ingredients, single ingredient foods. Then, a whole week of only processed food. See what happens. See how your body responds. This is how you know what works for you and what doesn't work for you. It's plain and simple. Not that complicated. So there it is, conducting human experiments, making it as practical as possible. You already know what it is. Like, comment, subscribe. Comment down below past experiments that you guys have conducted yourselves and things that you've learned, maybe even if by accident, right? But just through like the experimentation frame, right? Comment down below what experiments you've learned from in the past, and comment down below what experiments you're gonna try now that you've watched this video. Right? Until next time, peace out, secure them gains.